The 2023 Toyota Prius has its fair share of problems. While on the one hand the redesign got some improvements, we can't deny that the Prius has some drawbacks that still need some work done. It indeed does, and these minor problems are what you should definitely know about. For starters, the interior is not as luxurious as it should be. There's no way for Toyota to launch a redesign and not touch up the interior. They did the same for the Prius, but from what we know so far, it could have been much better. What's the issue, you might ask? Well, the thing is, there's still a lack of premium finish in the hybrid's interior. If you look at it, the surplus of hard plastics don't seem very pleasing. In fact, it makes it lose that sense of luxury. The base trim features a faux leather steering wheel, but if you really wish to feel that luxury, you'll have to upgrade to the XLE, or limited trim, which costs about $11,000 to $15,000 more than the base trim. If you do that, you can enjoy heated seats for both front and rear seats. But here's the deal. If you're more into luxury than anything else, and still don't want to spend those extra grands, then you could go for the Hyundai Sonata Hybrid, since it has a much better finish compared to the Prius. The good thing is that it falls in the same price range as the Prius, so that shouldn't be an issue either. All in all, it's safe to say that the Prius could have been a little more classy. But overall, it's still a good choice. It's just not for lovers of a good luxury interior. The rear seating is a little cramped. Let's be real for a second. The front seats are almost always spacious and comfy, since those are the highlight of any vehicle, right? But what about the rear seats? Those often get ignored, and that's something that the Prius is definitely guilty of. No offense, but the rear seats in all the trims of the 2023 Prius just simply don't have enough space. The reason for this could be the fact that this redesign actually has a lot more of an athletic look. The roofline is lower, and we can't deny that it gives it an impressive look. The roofline has lowered by 2 inches. That's a significant difference right there, but it obviously brings a drawback along with it. After all, there's a cost to beauty. Take the 2-row hybrid, for example. It's set to accommodate 3 in the rear, but you can't really make 3 grown adults sit in there without feeling claustrophobic. The head and legroom are scarce in the rear seats. While the legroom for the front seats is about 43.2 inches, it's reduced to 34.8 inches for the back seats. The same is the issue with headroom. It's reduced by 2 inches on the back. For the front seat passengers, the headroom is about 38 inches, but for rear seat passengers, it drops to 36.4. That's pretty unfair if you ask us. The cargo space has also been reduced. Yes, not just the rear seat space, but also the cargo space. And this sorcery is also because of the sloping roofline. The roofline doesn't only cut into the passenger room, but it also takes away a significant amount of cargo space. And it's safe to say that you can't store as many bags in the 2023 Prius as you could in the 2022 Prius. The previous model boasted 27.4 cubic feet of cargo space behind the rear seats. But now, in the 2023 redesign, the number has dropped to a mere 23.8 cubic feet in the 2023 Prius LE. While the better equipped and more expensive trims have even less cargo space. The XLE and the limited models only come with 20.3 cubic feet of space. The instrument cluster isn't in the right place. Here, the Prius actually plays with the safety of passengers. I mean, why do you put the instrument cluster right behind the steering wheel? It could have been positioned in a much better way. Maybe a little higher? Being right behind the steering wheel puts it in a place where it can be very difficult for some drivers to look at. They might even have to take their eyes off the road for a long time, just to be able to see the instrument cluster, which is most definitely a dangerous practice. Not to mention, it might also force them to move and adjust the steering or seating position to have a clearer view. That ultimately makes it uncomfortable for someone to drive. It could be a minor issue for many, and we hope this problem will be fixed in the upcoming models. But for now, you'll see this issue in all the 2023 Prius trims. In the sense of packaging and conventional driving, it might be a good option, but there's a lot of information for the unit. That means, along with being obstructed by the steering wheel, it's also super cluttered, which makes it even harder for anyone to use it. The engine noises need to go. Yes, we get it. The cabin comfort has somewhat improved, and the 2023 Toyota Prius looks like it drives like a breeze. But the cockpit noise, boy oh boy, you really don't want that, especially if you get annoyed by noises easily. This noise issue occurs whenever you turn on the traditional gas engine, but we'll also have to agree that this is a common problem with hybrid cars generally. After all, the engine has to switch on and off while driving, which ultimately causes vibration and noise. Even though they tried to reduce this sound issue by using sound-deadening materials in the car's body, it feels like it didn't help much because the noise level is still a bit too high. Also, it's important to note that this issue is mostly present during acceleration and when driving at high speed. In normal conditions, however, it's considerably lower and bearable. Now let's talk about the wireless charging pad. For the ones who get their hands on the base model, this shouldn't be an issue at all, because the 2023 Prius doesn't feature the wireless charging pad in the base model. But for those who go for the upper trim levels, this feature might not be as good as you think. Yeah, you heard that right. Even though being able to charge your phone wirelessly in the car is a cool advancement, you should know that these charging pads don't actually have any built-in cooling system. Why does that matter, you may ask? Wireless charging without the built-in cooling system can leave your smartphone a little too hot or maybe even toasty. Just 1 hour in, and you'll feel the heat coming out of it. That's why it matters a lot. And Toyota needs to improve in terms of these technologies. And lastly, there are the hefty prices. The new 2023 Prius has improved a lot, but does that justify the rise in prices too? I mean, look at some of the other cars in the same category and compare the prices. You'll see a significant difference there. Let's take the example of the Hyundai Elantra Hybrid. The Elantra has a starting price of $22,000, which goes up to $31,000. Prius, on the other hand, has a starting price of $28,500, going up to $35,500. We won't deny the fact that the Prius is better in terms of fuel efficiency and some other features. But can everyone really afford that? Or will everyone go for that when something very similar is available at a lesser price? That's an important factor that must not go overlooked. Someone on a budget might actually go for the cheaper option, ignoring the fact that Prius actually saves more money in the long run because of the exceptional fuel economy. Click the video on your screen now to learn more about a Toyota that we love, the 2023 Corolla.